Hello, and welcome to Team Franco Bodybuilding Podcast number 18. I do apologize for the lag as it's been well over a week since I put some content out, and two reasons why. One, my household is not as quiet just because the kids are home and, from everything that's going on. And two, there were a lot of topics that I covered, and there were some that were actually worth repeating, so I've been pushing them out again as far as how to stay on track of things when goals are canceled. I did a podcast on that, obviously with the whole workouts, mindset, training, and coincidentally enough, I did these 2 or 3 months ago, and they are more relevant now than ever. So if you haven't listened, please go back, check out all the titles that are written out. It's funny because sometimes, when I do these podcasts, I have things that I want to get off my chest. I want to put out there for you guys that I think you will benefit from, especially from all my experience of just, training, coaching, competing, promoting, life in general. And sometimes I'm inspired, I have check-ins every couple of days from my clients, online clients, and I also can be inspired. And this morning, I've had a couple of them that were truly inspiring, especially during this crazy time. But it's more so this crazy time is not what's keeping them from being motivated. It's just that they constantly want to improve. And she may be listening, and I use the term that she is winning. What is winning? Is winning getting accolades? Is winning coming in first place? Is winning getting a lot of likes on your selfie? The answer is no. Winning is doing what you enjoy and love to do day in and day out, and to accept that sometimes it may not even be the best outcome. Winning to me is pushing through and not having someone to tell you to push through. It's because you have the love and the passion of doing something. Winning to me is moving on. It's not looking back. It's not worrying what happened, nor worrying what may happen. Because if you're going to worry what may happen, you're worrying at least 2 more times as much as you have to. Now, when it comes to the bodybuilding world and the health and fitness world, yes, we've been, slowed down because we don't have access to the gyms. At one time, it was hard to find chicken. And if you're listening to this and it's like months away, you're going to think it's nuts, but it's the truth. So really, winning is taking advantage of the opportunity that you have. It's an opportunity to be in control because you want to and not because someone else is telling you to. It's also, for the bodybuilding world, why winning is so important now and taking it day by day is that many months down from the road, when you can go to the gym, when you can resume life as normal, you don't want to look back and think, wow, I had all that time on my hand to do some type of exercise at home, some type of regimen with my diet. So I had that control, but why didn't I take it? It's because you were too worried about the future or too worried what just happened and not focusing on here and now and what you can control. That is winning. Now, you look at professional athletes, okay? Why do they win? Yeah, sometimes they have great genetics. They have great structure when it comes to bodybuilding, fitness. Professional athletes in sports, they have God-given talents. But majority of them win every day. They grind. This is the transition, grinding, meaning that they do it every day. It's innate. They just do it because they love it. They have a passion, and they know if they grind, they're going to win every day. Years ago, before I got into bodybuilding, well, I was bodybuilding probably in my early teens, but my big passion, probably more so than bodybuilding and weight training as a teenager, and even into my early 20s, was baseball. When I played baseball as a little kid, I was average. I was good, but I was not like a standout athlete or anything like that. It was something that I enjoyed doing, being outside, hitting the ball, running, catching, and all that, camaraderie. It was fun. Come high school, my high school was a large high school, lots and lots of kids. And in ninth grade, they had a baseball team strictly for ninth graders. If you tried out, you'd either make it or not make it. There was, we had junior varsity and varsity, but that was for 10th grade, 11th, and 12th. So ninth grade, how old was I? 14? I don't even remember. 15? Turning 14. No, turning 15 in ninth grade. So it was spring of whatever, tryouts for ninth grade baseball. I did okay. I did all right, but I didn't make the team. And I was kind of crushed. I was like, wow, how did that happen? But I let it be. And I was determined, because, all right, next year I would have to make the JV team. And my high school, again, we had over 700 kids in the high school, and usually like 50 to 60 boys would try out just for one team. So it was kind of hard to even make the team, going into your junior and senior year. But what I did that winter, after playing summer ball, was, looking back, it's interesting because I didn't realize what I was doing, but I was so focused on getting better. Throughout the winter, almost every night, I had an old beat-up batting tee set up in the garage, an old tent that was draped so the balls won't go flying and hit the walls. Basically, it gave it a cushion to slow down. And literally, I would take 100 swings off of the tee almost every night. I would work on hitting it up the middle, pulling the ball, lacing it to the opposite field, all those things, and just swing the bat. Did I really know what I was doing? No, but I was training, I was just repetition over and over again. So come the following year, speed it up a little bit, going into 10th grade, it was the tryouts for the JV and varsity team. Now, mind you, and I kept on repeating that these teams were quite large. I remember jumping in the cage, and you had the varsity coach watching. He's just looking at everyone, and basically you would get up there, you would take 3 swings, and then he would say next, 3 swings and next. Didn't matter if you hit the ball or missed the ball. He knew what he was doing because he had a lot of experience, a lot of successful teams. I was nervous. It was my turn. I had 3 swings. I hit 2 of the balls. I missed 1. He said, stay in there. I had another 3 swings. Then I was starting to hit the ball. And he goes, what's your name? I go, Joe Franco. All right, Franco, I want to see 3 more. I did another 3. And then he says, all right, get out of there. Well, all the kids were looking at me like, oh my God, why was he in there for more than 3 swings? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I just did what he told. Well, long story short, upon this, because of my training and unwillingness of just winning and grinding every day, I ended up making the varsity team. We're basically sitting on the varsity team as a 10th grader, and that was like the first time I was told in 10 years for a position player. Sometimes pitchers would make it because they're big, tall, strong, they threw the ball hard. But it was the first time in over 10 years that a position player, because I was an outfielder, that actually sat on the varsity team at the high school that I went to. I did go on to have a fine career, senior year, all that good stuff, accolades, blah, 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 blah. But unwillingly, and only really because I had a passion and I didn't know I was doing it, I was practicing and training because I had a grind of just wanting to prove to myself that I can get better. And the accolades were really no big deal because it was, to me, I had that fire lit in my ass of disappointment that I wanted to get better. So if you look back many months from now and you say to yourself that, wow, I'm disappointed, I could have had, I had that opportunity, to gain control of my diet. I had that opportunity to still exercise, to make yourself feel good. So how does this translate to those that are fitness minded? Well, as I introed the podcast talking about some clients' feedback this morning, if you are doing the best that you can and taking that initiative, you're going to be ahead of the game. So when the contest is available for you to compete in, you're winning and grinding every day. It puts you in the most optimal position. So if you want to compete and you develop those positive habits, it's going to be an easier transition, and you're going to be able to when you want to, instead of thinking, wow, I had all that time, but I didn't take advantage of it. Another example, when I talk about grinders, are those people just going to the gym every day. They develop those positive habits, and they may not even have a goal of competing. But why are they doing it? Because they have a passion. They enjoy the feel of the weights. They enjoy the feel of doing cardio. I can't believe I just said that. They enjoy exercise because it helps their health. It helps their mind, their well-being. Makes them a better person physically and mentally. So it's that daily grind that will continue to pay dividends down the road. So no matter what your goal is, if it's a sport, if it's to look your best on the beach, if it's to compete in a bodybuilding show, it's, to lower blood pressure, it doesn't matter. Embrace the grind every day because it's going to add up. There's an accumulative effect of grinding and winning every day. And I just don't want to see people regret, especially they have more time now, to make an effort to do what is best for them. So guys, that wraps this one up. Not that long. Just wanted to get my point across about making sure that you are winning every day. Some days aren't going to be the greatest. I get it. Some days are going to be off. We're going to have more anxiety, more stress. But make it a priority to take care of yourself now, because it's like a 401k. Even if it's down a little bit, the more you put in, when you need it, it's going to be there for you. So guys, any questions, comments, or ideas for future podcasts, please hit me up, fitfranco@verizon.net. If you're interested in coaching or anything bodybuilding related, or to lose weight or whatever fitness related, teamfrancobodybuilding.com, and have a great day.